In a quiet village, where time moved slowly and love was simple, a man lived with two young sons. Their days were once full of joy until fate took a turn. His first wife, the boy's mother, passed away, leaving behind an aching emptiness in the house. Time went on, but the silence remained until one day he remarried. His second wife was no ordinary woman. She carried no bitterness, no sharpness in her voice, only patience, and a heart big enough to embrace two children who weren't born from her womb but slowly became part of her soul. She fed them with care, watched over their sleep, stayed up during their illnesses, smiled when they succeeded, and cried when they hurt. The boys, they began calling her Mom in their hearts, long before their lips whispered it. One evening, the father suggested it was time his son settled down. Marriage, after all, was the next chapter. The stepmother, listening quietly, agreed. Her eyes sparkled with dreams not for herself, but for the boys she raised. And so, the parents began searching for suitable brides. But unknown to them, a different story was already unfolding. The two sons had already fallen in love, not recently, but over time, quietly, deeply, with two sisters, the daughters of their late mother's best friend. And fate had already tied a knot years ago, because the boy's late mother had once promised her friend that one day their children would marry. The brothers couldn't hide it any longer. They went home and revealed everything. The father sat in silence. Then slowly, with a soft nod, he gave his blessing. The stepmother's eyes filled with tears, not of sorrow but of joy. Her heart had no boundaries when it came to their happiness. It seemed like a perfect ending was near, but fate wasn't done yet. When the proposal was placed before the girl's father, he refused. Without hesitation, he said no. He said he could not allow his daughters to enter a home where a stepmother ruled the house. Because no matter how kind she appeared, he believed she would bring pain to his daughters. The stepmother stood still. Not a word left her lips, but inside her, something shattered. That night, she made a decision so painful that even the walls would have wept if they could. She decided to leave the house. If her existence meant her son's dream would die, then she would erase herself from their story, without a goodbye, without asking for anything in return. Her hands trembled, her eyes burned, but her love never wavered. But destiny listens to heart that love. The boys found her, and in that moment, time froze. They refused to let her go. They said no wedding, no joy could ever be real without her by their side. Because she wasn't their stepmother, she was their real mother. The one who stayed, the one who chose them every single day. The next morning, the boys visited the girl's father once more. Their decision? They had chosen their mother. They told him they would not marry his daughters because no love was worth hurting the women who had loved them without condition. A long silence followed, and then a slow, deep breath. Girl's father softened. He revealed what no one expected to hear. He never truly meant to refuse the proposal. He was testing them. Testing if the boys would value loyalty, if they could protect the one who stood by them, even if she had no blood ties. And today they passed. Not as sons, not as grooms, but as men. The marriage was arranged, the village lit up. And the stepmother, she stood by their side, glowing with pride. Not as a shadow, not as an outsider, but as their true mother. Some stories aren't meant to entertain, they are meant to awaken, to remind us that love doesn't need a bloodline, it needs heart. And sometimes the greatest mothers are not the ones who give us life, but the ones who give us love when we need it most. Family isn't who you are born to, it's who you would never walk away from. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and share this with someone who still believes in real love. Subscribe for more amazing videos like this.